What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Thursday. We are almost to Friday, so it's a great day. It's a great day in the neighborhood. Hope you all are doing fantastic. Welcome to Quita in the Mornings. My name is Quita. We are in the mornings, and we're going to talk about some women's hoops. So make sure to grab your coffee, grab your orange juice, grab whatever you need to grab. Get it, got it, good. Okay. Let's talk because we got quite a bit to talk about today, and not so much time. So first up, we are going to talk about the theme of the day, which is everyone leaves. That is the theme of the day because we talk about the transfer portal and how we just continue to see record numbers of people entering the transfer portal for all sports, really. But specifically, we're gonna talk about some women's basketball. We're also going to talk about the Sweet 16. We're going to do our second chance. I'm going to do my second chance bracket live. And then also, earlier, I asked ChatGPT to help me out and figure out who was going to be winning the Sweet 16 games. And what they said was very interesting, and I want to go through it because, AI don't be knowing everything. They don't be knowing everything. Okay, let's get to it. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. DLJ says, finally made it on time. Well, I'm happy you are here. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Again, my name is Quita. This is Quita in the Mornings, and I hope y'all are having a good time. As y'all are joining in, please make sure to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a lot. Please hit that subscribe button as well if you are not subscribed to the channel, because we trying to make some moves in this game. Okay, we trying to make some moves. We trying to get folks to engage and let more people know about what's happening in women's basketball and what we are doing here. So hopefully y'all can hit that like button, subscribe, and share with a friend. Okay, let's start with this. So there's a Twitter account called NCAA Buzzer Beaters and Game Winners, and they posted recently a graphic that I want to talk about, because this graphic is every Sweet 16's starting five and where they began playing in college. And I want to go through this because I was like, whoa, this really hit the nail in the head of what the transfer portal has meant to teams. Because when we talk about these WNBA, at this point, they're basically pros. When we talk about these college basketball teams, one thing that continues to come up every single year is the transfer portal. It used to be that the transfer portal was very, very restrictive. Like you couldn't, it wasn't easy to get in the transfer portal and go somewhere else right away. You had to wait a year. There was a year that and maybe what I'll do is I'll have a throwback video where I'm going back and looking at how stuff used to work. But it used to be that you used to have to wait a year. You couldn't play immediately after you transferred. And because of that, you didn't see that many transfers. Yes, you saw some transfers, but it wasn't this bad. Okay? It wasn't this bad at all. But what we have seen over the last couple of years is that when the expanded free reign transfer portal, where it's like basically you could transfer wherever you want, whenever you want, how many times you want, because that has been expanded, and because NIL, there is way more player autonomy now than ever before, where you have players saying, you know what, I'm gonna head on out. You know what, I'm about to be gone. Yeah. I'm not staying here. Maybe it's my playing time that's not great. Maybe I'm not getting as much NIL money. Maybe I just don't like the way the coach played me in this game or this season or whatever. So I'm about to hit the road, Jack. And it ain't gonna come back, And this is something that we have been seeing over the last couple of years, where increasingly more and more players have hit the transfer portal. Now, guys, the transfer portal officially opened for the women on Tuesday. It officially opened for the women on Tuesday. I believe on Monday it opened for the men. And as of right now, the numbers right now is 847 players. 847 women's basketball players have entered into the transfer portal. 847 in just a couple of days. This is great for player autonomy, but also this is horrible for cohesion of teams. Basically, at this point, in a lot of instances, a lot of coaches are basically doing a series of one-year deals, where every year you're waiting to the end of the season to figure out which one of your players went out. And every year you are constantly looking and being like, okay, here's somebody. You're not just looking at juniors and seniors in high school. You're looking at freshmen, sophomore, juniors, of current college players, right? Now, guys, again, this graphic is the graphic that I saw on I saw this on in NCAA buzzer beaters and game winners. That is where I saw this graphic at. And I do have some questions about some of the stuff on here. But I wanted to share it because I thought it was pretty interesting. So yeah, this is the credit for this graphic. NCAA buzzer beaters and game winners. I don't know if somebody else posted it, but that's who posted it. Okay, so I do have some questions about this because some of these picks, I'm just like, wait, are we sure? Are we sure that this is the truth? Because number one, on the top left hand side is UCLA. Because you could just tail because Lauren Betts was the lone Stanford person. And so Lauren Betts is on there. She came from, of course, as we know, she came from, oh my goodness, can I talk? She came from Stanford. But I do have some questions about everybody else because anyway, Duke, she was fully a UCLA player. Or no, actually no. Duke is the player who started at Oregon. So here's the deal. Let's go down the line. Let's go down the line for this first row. And Stanford is Lauren Betts. Duke is Oregon. Hawkes, London Jones, and Kiki Rice are all UCLA. Okay, if we go further down on the same left-handed rail, if we go further down, this is USC. All right. So that the Beaver is Oregon State, and that was Talia von Oelhoffen, who started at Oregon State. And then we see the mix of USC, and then Stanford is, of course, Kiki Ira-Afen. And then we just sort of keep going down the line from there. Like, basically, my point in showing this, I'm not going to go through all of these, but my point in showing this is to show that the transfer portal is live and well. Like, it's not that many teams that have, like, straight across the board, even 3 players that started, right? LSU has 4 players who started with LSU, right? The lone DePaul one is Anissa Morrow. We have South Carolina. It's all South Carolina besides Tahina Paopao, who started at Oregon. For Duke, you got 3 of those players. For Notre Dame, we got 4 starters that started at Notre Dame, with the exception of Leah Tu King, who actually started she was with Pitt. For UConn, we got UConn all the way, besides Kaylin Chen, who was with Princeton, right? It's so many of this year's Sweet 16 has players from all over the place. And what I wanted to do by showing this graphic, again, credit to NCAA buzzer beaters and game winners for actually making the graphic. The reason why I wanted to show this is to just show the power of the transfer portal. It's a very, very powerful thing. And this year, yes, we do have 847 people who are currently in the transfer portal. But I do want to talk about, Avery. Avery says Maryland's whole lineup is basically transfers except one. Yeah, facts. Yeah, it's how it is. It is how it is. Mr. Kels says Oregon State had a squad last year. Too bad they broke up. Well, they broke up for a reason, right? They broke up because Oregon State was no longer in the Pac-12, right? They moved to the the WCC, West Coast Conference, and which is not as competitive, and so that has kind of messed up the ability of these teams to kind of do what they do, right? Not great at all. TCU had a whole bunch of transfers too. Yep. A whole bunch of transfers at TCU. It's gotten to the point where this is just insane how many transfers we have seen. And if y'all don't know which one is TCU is the bottom right. All right. So it's the Cardinal, it's Arizona, it's Stanford, it's Oregon State, and it is Oregon. That is TCU. Crazy. Anyway, I wanted to specifically talk about some individuals who are in the transfer portal. And first, I want to talk about Cody McMahon, because it was announced, I believe yesterday, that Cody McMahon has entered her name in the hat for the transfer portal. And I wanted to kind of talk about it because she is someone who has been with the Ohio State for a very, very long time. And she has called it quits. She said, I'm done. I am leaving this team and I want to go somewhere else. And there's a lot of teams that will welcome Cody McMahon, because I think she is a really good college player. She is someone who, if y'all don't know anything about Cody McMahon, let me just kind of give you her bio real quick. She is a post player, primarily plays the power forward position, but she's a short post player. She stands at 6 foot tall. She is someone who can bang down low if she needs to. She can absolutely hold her own. She is a junior right now. And she has played her entire career so far with Ohio State. As a freshman with Ohio State, she was doing really well. Like really, really good freshman. 15.1 points a game as a freshman. She 5.5 rebounds. As a sophomore, she was averaging 14.4 points a game, 6.3 rebounds a game. And this past season, she has kind of been like the leader of the squad, and has averaged 16.5 points a game and 4.7 rebounds a game. She's shooting around 47-ish% on her career, though her numbers for this past year has gone down, I would say. But overall, she is a fantastic pickup in the transfer portal. She's someone who was Big Ten first team selections twice, right? She is someone who is steadily improving her 3-point shooting. Like, yes, she primarily plays the post. However, the fact that she is trying to extend her range and trying to make some more stuff happen, I think it's pretty good. So she's someone who can get buckets in the paint. Again, she's not that great at the 3, but it's good. It's good that she's starting to kind of exercise that muscle. And she's calling it quits, right? She is calling it quits for the Buckeyes. You can tell she was very, very frustrated at the Ohio State's early exit in the second round. And she's looking for a new place. And I guarantee you there's a lot of places that are like, ooh, Cody McMahon? Okay, I think you can work in our system. I think you can work. Shay, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, let's get them likes up. Yes. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. That really does help the channel out a whole lot. Thank you very much. Thank you. But yeah, Cody McMahon she's a player who's a baller. She wears her emotions on her sleeve, and she kind of gives it all she got. And yes, the year with Ohio State did not work out exactly the way she wanted, but there's a lot of teams that will want her. And I'm hoping that she seriously takes a look at Ole Miss. Like, Ole Miss is a really, really good team, in my opinion. I think Coach Yo is a really good coach. I would love to see Cody McMahon and what she can do in Coach Yo's system. I think that could be really, really interesting. If Cody wants to like maximize her NIL, I don't think she picks Ole Miss. But if you're like, if you want to work hard and you want to try to make something happen, while learning a whole lot throughout the process, you go to Ole Miss, in my opinion. I do think though that some of the teams that probably will be in the mix are teams like a USC, a LSU. I could see a program like a Texas possibly being in the mix as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but with Texas, you have to worry about it would be a question mark of does she even start? Because with LSU, Anissa Morrow's going to be gone, and so like you can slide in right there. She can slide in right away at Ole Miss. With Rhea Marshall and whatnot leaving USC, maybe there's a way to slide in there. But I think LSU could make a lot of sense, where she could slide in right away and be a starter. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to ultimately see what she does. GFB says Kim is definitely picking up that phone. Probably. Bear24 says it costs to be the boss. Maximize your money. I mean, facts. Facts. Kentucky Rick says I think she looked great in blue. So maybe Cody to Kentucky. I mean, I could see it, but at the same time, I don't know how she fits in Kentucky's system. I don't know if it fits. But we'll see. But yeah, Cody McMahon is in the free agency market, and she has one more year. So we'll see ultimately what she's able to do, where she's able to find herself, because that whoever gets her is getting a baller. And whoever gets her is a team that is in need of a starter, right? But yeah, SEC. Yeah, she's probably going to the SEC. Probably. She's probably going to the SEC. Yeah. And that should be pretty fun. That should be pretty fun to see her in the SEC. Another player who's currently in the SEC that is in the transfer portal is Talia Scott. Talia Scott is another player who's in the transfer portal, and we'll ultimately see where she decides to go. This past season, remember guys, she started off at Arkansas as her freshman. She transferred to Auburn this season. She got hurt and only played 3 games in the entire season. She got hurt. Auburn fired their head coach, brought in a new head coach, and Talia Scott is in the free agency market looking to see where she goes. This is someone who is a straight up bucket. Talia Scott. It's very, very unfortunate that she had to deal with injury this year and didn't really play as much. However, I am excited to see ultimately where she ends up. Does she decide to stay in the SEC? Does she decide to go somewhere else? Again, she went from Arkansas to Auburn, so staying in the SEC. And then we're gonna do it again. And see ultimately where she ends up. She's straight up bucket, 5'9" guard, who can shoot the lights out. As a freshman, guy, she averaged 22.1 points for Arkansas, but she was kind of doing it all by herself. So she transferred to Auburn because of the vision. And ultimately she ended up getting hurt, and everything kind of derailed from there at Auburn. And now she is looking for her next opportunity. Where will that opportunity land? We don't know. But what we do know is she's gonna be a great player. Wherever she decides to go, I think she is someone that you want to always watch out for because Talia Scott is a straight up baller. I'm not sure exactly how many people actually know who Talia Scott is, because maybe you didn't watch Arkansas last year, and maybe you didn't watch at least the 3 games that she played for Auburn this year. But just know she's a fantastic player, and when healthy, Talia Scott can give you, darn near 22, 23 points a game. All right, and she can really, really rock that. So that's one thing that I am kind of excited to see ultimately where she ends up. There were some other moves that happened as well that I want to get into. I do want to talk about the fact that we have seen another Louisville player hit the transfer portal. And that Louisville player is actually a familiar name, maybe. Maybe to some of y'all, it's a familiar name. And I am talking about Azalea Arenas. Gilbert Arenas' daughter has entered into the transfer portal. She was a freshman this year, and she has entered the transfer portal. She went to Louisville. Didn't play a whole bunch. Like she played a decent amount of time. She was averaging around 11.8 minutes a game, 4.2 points a game. She played in a total of 29 games this season. And we'll kind of see where she ends up going. But yeah, Gilbert Arenas' daughter is in the transfer portal, and we'll kind of see. I don't know. It's one of those things where like sometimes I wish players would just hang out and like stay with the program a little bit more just to really see what, I mean, because she did play. It wasn't like she never played. It's just that she didn't play as much as she wanted, which is fair. But again, with this transfer portal, like it's a 1-year rental. Like all coaches don't have the luxury of really taking players through a program and like really working with them and getting them to a certain level, because players are going to want to leave like right away. And so that's the thing. That is not great. Also, there is a lot of misinformation out there. And this one involves Camille Perry. She is someone who a lot of people talked about her going in the transfer portal. She's not going in the transfer portal. Okay, she's not transferring. She is staying at Vandy. Okay, Camille Pierre. She's staying at Vandy. And they're building something special. Okay, so yeah. Don't believe everything you see about the transfer portal. Like actually see if it's vetted by a legit source. And the person that I would recommend for you all to go to for the real source of what's happening in the transfer portal, who is in the transfer portal, like the fact that Camille Pierre is not in the transfer portal, like the person you should go to for that is actually On3. I would say On3 is probably the best source for actual factual information related to the portal. And so yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date with what's happening. But if you all want the latest news, about what's happening, go to On3. On3 is your best source for news around the transfer portal. Don't believe everything somebody writes on Twitter about, oh, this person's going in the transfer portal. Don't believe it until you verify it, okay? Don't believe it until you verify it. All right, and so first I do want to take a look at the transfer portal right now. So here is well, this is not the transfer portal, but this is On3. They have a transfer portal tracker. Also, guys, Haley Van Lith, she's done with her eligibility is over, so she's going to the pros. Her eligibility is over. Okay. Anyway, On3 has a transfer portal tracker, and the thing to know about this is that with the transfer portal, we can't see it. We don't have direct access to the transfer portal. The only people who have access to it is ADs at schools and coaches and players themselves. We do not have access to the transfer portal. However, somehow On3 has gotten access to the transfer portal, and they are the source that I use. So when I talk about transfers, you can pretty much bet that my source for that is On3. Okay. All right. So the number of current entries in the transfer portal, according to On3, right now is 847. We have 12 commitments. 0 players have withdrawn from the transfer portal, and this was last updated yesterday morning. And so literally it walks through every single team, like Boston College. They got a couple of people in the transfer portal, and literally goes through every single team and lets you know who, like you can see right here. Azalea Gilbert Arenas' daughter and Nyla Harris, they're both under here for Louisville. Like, you can see every single team who has entered the transfer portal, and you can see where they've committed, if they've committed. Like, for example, Peyton Dunbar from Virginia, she's already committed to Providence, right? And you can see that on here. So it's split up by conference. So highly recommend this source. Again, this is the best source I have found on the transfer portal. At least for women's basketball. I don't know about the other sports, but women's basketball, this is the best. So I just wanted to share this with you all, just so y'all can have this resource as well. I don't want to gatekeep information. So where I get information from, I'm gonna tell you. And this is where I get all of my transfer portal information. Okay. All right, guys. We have reached the time where let's talk about the thing that a lot of people want to talk about, which is the NCAA tournament. Guys, the NCAA tournament is here. We are in the midst of it, and we have been wrong about a whole bunch of stuff. We've been right about some stuff, and now is our chance for a second chance. All right, this is our second chance to get it right this time for our bracket, and so we're gonna get into that. I thought it would be a fun thing to end the show on, is to do our bracket, and let's talk about where we think some of these players will ultimately land. Okay, I mean in terms of their finishing for the season. Now, guys, the Sweet 16 does start on Friday. The games are Friday and Saturday for the Sweet 16. I hope you all are excited about that. If y'all are going to a Sweet 16 game, let me know. I would love to hear about it. So yeah, if you're going to the Sweet 16, yeah, let me know. If you're going to the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, let me know. Hopefully next year I'll be able to go. It just didn't work out this year for me to go, but next year, fingers crossed. Anyway, let's I got my blank bracket, and we are going to go through. We are going to go through the second chance. This again, the second chance challenge by ESPN. All right, and I have for UCLA versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to come out as hard as they can with some really good defense. They're going to give it all that they have. However, UCLA has Lauren Betts, and Kiki Rice is doing her thing right now. So I'm gonna say UCLA is gonna win that game. We have LSU versus NC State. We all remember that LSU beat NC State earlier this year. Yes, there's an opportunity for NC State to get some revenge. However, I just do think that LSU is going to actually pull off that W, and they're gonna beat NC State for the second time this year. All right, let's continue on. We have USC versus Kansas State. Ultimately, the injury to Juju Watkins, I think, completely changes everything. Right? I think it really does. However, I do think that USC, even without Juju, has just enough to take down TCU. I do. I think they have just enough. So yes, I do have USC barely beating Kansas State. I think we are going to see Kiki Ira-Offin have another 30-plus game. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see Kennedy Smith have a really good game. Kylie Heckel have a really good game as well. Like, this is Avery Howe. Like, this is going to be a game where everybody has to step up, and I think they will. And I think ultimately they do take down Kansas State. And we have Oklahoma versus UConn. This is going to be a cool battle. I'm really interested to see the battle between Reagan Beers and UConn. Like, I think that's going to be pretty fun. Like, Reagan Beers and Sarah Strong, I think going to go pound for pound. Like, what's going to happen? Like, I think it's going to be fun to watch. However, UConn just has way more offensive firepower, especially from the guards perspective, that to me is going to be the difference. And UConn is going to win that game. On the other side of the table, we have Texas versus Tennessee. In that game, ultimately, so Texas, I think, is the better team. I think Tennessee is probably going to wind up winning because of the way that they like to muck it up on defense. They're going to do that full court pressure. They are going to give it all that they have. And ultimately, I do think that that Tennessee is going to get the dub. Now, Texas, Madison Booker she's going to cook, right? We're going to see Mimwatanda, who has been impressing me a lot this year. She's going to be doing her thing, right? We're going to see a lot of players that are going to be rocking out for Texas. However, I do think that Tennessee's ability to just light it up from the three-point line, especially because Texas is not a three-point team. Texas is not going to make a lot of threes. And if Tennessee can get those threes to fall, yeah, I think this is Tennessee's game. It's the defense plus the three-point shooting of Tennessee that ultimately I think is going to be the downfall of Texas. Though, pound for pound, yes, Texas is a better squad. However, I think that it's going to be Tennessee's night, and Tennessee is going to win. All right, Notre Dame versus TCU, I think it's going to be a fun game. One, because this is Notre Dame's chance to get some redemption. They did lose to TCU earlier this year. Y'all remember I believe it was in November when all the teams were going on there. They were like going to different places and planning like the tournament style stuff. Notre Dame lost 2 games in a row, and one of those games were lost to TCU. TCU is a good squad, right? Sedona Prince is great. Donovan Hunter is great. Haley Van Lith is great. However, I don't think they get past Notre Dame, especially the way Leah Tu King has played. Leah Tu King in the second round of what I believe is the second round, where she was absolutely perfect from the field, perfect from the free throw line. She was on fire. She was looking for the basketball. She was being active, and with a offensive minded Leah Tu King, with a Sonia Citron who is continuing to do her thing, with a Hannah Hidalgo who just puts up numbers, and with a Olivia Miles who yes is still not completely healed from her ankle injury, but can still rock out there and do some stuff. I have Notre Dame beating TCU. And I think Notre Dame just has a little bit too much to compare with TCU. Now, if Leah Tu King don't show up to play, if she wants to be passive and whatnot, then yeah, they don't have a chance. But if Leah Tu King plays the same way she played in the second round of the tournament, we are seeing Pitt version of Leah Tu King, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. All right, we have North Carolina versus Duke, and in that game, I ultimately have Duke winning that one. I think it's just the defense that Duke has, and their ability to shoot threes. I think it'll lead them to victory. And then we have South Carolina versus Maryland. I don't think Maryland really has a chance. I think South Carolina wins this game with a sizable margin. I think it's probably like a 10+ game that South Carolina wins. All right, and then we have South Carolina versus Duke in the Elite Eight. Ultimately, South Carolina, there's a little bit too much for Duke to handle. And yeah, I don't see them beating Duke. All right, Tennessee versus Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame. The reason why is, yes, Tennessee is a team that can knock down threes. Tennessee is a team that can play some defense, but also Notre Dame is a team that can knock down some threes, and they're a team that can play some defense. And I think player for player, Notre Dame. And I think Notre Dame will actually show up. So yeah, I have Notre Dame winning that game. All right, we have USC versus UConn. Now here is when the absence of Juju Watkins hurts you even further. I cannot see USC getting past UConn without Juju Watkins. Now, before Juju Watkins went down, I said, before Juju went down, I said that UConn would beat USC. And I still believe that UConn will beat USC. And it may be an even bigger margin than it would have been. Because again, UConn, they got a little bit of everything. They got Paige, they got AZ, right? You got Sarah Strong in the post. You got KK who can play some really good defense. Like you have a lot of players on this UConn squad that can make some noise. But for USC, you got Kiki Ira-Finn, you got the freshies and Kylie and Avery, right? But I don't think USC has enough. So it's going to be a game that's probably like 15 points or more win by UConn, in my opinion. And then we have UCLA versus LSU. This is where LSU's time to shine goes to a close. I don't see LSU beating UCLA, primarily because of Lauren Betts. With Lauren Betts down low, I don't think Anissa is able to eat as much as she does. I think she's gonna struggle big time against a big player like a Lauren Betts. And Lauren Betts is just, if UCLA decides, yes, we are going to give the ball to Lauren Betts every single time, then I think it's over. The way that UCLA can lose is if Lauren Betts gets into foul trouble and or UCLA decides that their guard's gonna be the stars and they don't pass it to Lauren Betts basically every single time. I think you have to give the ball to Lauren Betts almost every single possession. Give her the basketball, almost every single possession, and have her play inside outside basketball. I think that's gonna win you the game if you're UCLA. If you are LSU, you are doing everything you can to get Lauren Betts in foul trouble. That means you are giving her Aaliyah Del Rosario. You are giving her Samaya Smith. You're giving her lots of different looks. You're telling your post players, hey, flop, make some stuff happen, right? Like, kind of just make it seem like you getting pushed around. If you can get her in foul trouble, I think LSU has a good chance to win this game. If Lauren Betts is not in foul trouble, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Like, if you can get Lauren Betts in foul trouble and allow this team to have Lauren Betts on the bench, yeah, LSU has a really good chance. But if oh, sorry about that. Yeah, thank you, Tiffy and Co. Kaylee. If we can see this LSU team play through Flau'jae, play through Michaela Williams, and when Lauren Betts is on the bench, play through Anissa Morrow, I think that can happen. but you have to get Lauren Betts in foul trouble. I think she has to be. She has to be in foul trouble. My point in her is just that it's just a big body. If you could just get her a couple minutes, it's just a big body. Now, yes, Aaliyah Del Rosario can't really go pound for pound with Lauren Betts, but she can be there and she can, like, a couple minutes in, have to say, hey, go in this game and put a body on a body, and if you can, exaggerate a little bit. Try to get something. But ultimately, I think UCLA will win. But we'll see. We will see. Ultimately, we'll have in the Final Four UCLA versus UConn, and we'll also have South Carolina versus Notre Dame. In this game, I have UConn beating UCLA because, yes, Lauren Betts is great. However, UConn just has a little bit more. And South Carolina versus Notre Dame, ultimately South Carolina wins that game, and UConn winning the whole thing. This is the same Final Four that I had before the tournament started, and this is the same Final Four I'm sticking with because I just still think that these are the 4 best teams when it all comes down to it. And we'll ultimately see if I'm right or wrong. Now, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. Ultimately, how many points do I think this game is going to be scored by? I don't know. I'm going to say it's probably going to be a kind of a lowish scoring game. So I'm going to say 178. All right, so that's who I got. That is who I have. UConn ultimately winning it. But yeah, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. And guys, I was going to do a chat GPT thing, seeing who they thought was going to actually win the whole thing. And do I have enough time to do that? Yeah, let's do that real quick. Okay. All right, guys. So I asked ChatGPT because I've seen a lot of videos where YouTubers are asking ChatGPT stuff and they're using it for content. And I was like, let's use this for women's basketball. And let's see what ChatGPT says. So first of all, I had to ask ChatGPT. I was like, hey, do you pay attention to women's college basketball, and do you know the current players of the 2024-2025 season? Because I didn't believe that ChatGPT actually, like, I don't know. I don't trust AI when it comes to actual information about what's currently happening. I feel like it's more of a repository of, like, other stuff. But yeah, anyway, so I asked that in that question, and it said, absolutely, I definitely pay attention to women's college basketball. Okay. Especially because the 2024-2025 season is stacked with storylines and drama between the transfers, the returning super seniors, and the incoming freshman class. This is one of the most exciting years we have had in a while, even after the Caitlin Clark era. Here are some of the top names and storylines I'm tracking this season. And so I was like, okay, interesting. So you know that Caitlin is gone. And you know that there's some really good freshmen who came in. Okay, well, what do you know about this? Okay, so I was looking to see what else ChatGPT wrote. So ChatGPT knows that Camila Cardoso is gone, which is good. It knows that Mylasia is awesome, and it knows that Raven Johnson is a really good defender. Okay, that's good. All right, let's continue on. It also knows that Paige Beckers is in for her final run and is on a mission. Okay. You know about KK Arnold, Ice Brady, and saying that Aaliyah Edwards left for the draft. Okay. I'm like, great. You know that. What more do you know? All right. And then talks about LSU and how, and says that the Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith is gone. So great. And talking about Nisa Mora, Michaela Williams, and Flau'jae Johnson. Okay, great. So you know some information. And then we go to Notre Dame and talk about Hannah Hidalgo in her sophomore season. Okay, so your Citron's back. Olivia Miles. It doesn't know that Olivia Miles has officially returned from injury. It says hopefully. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And for Utah, it's saying that Alyssa Peely is still with Utah, which I'm just like, okay. You don't know what you're talking about, ChatGPT. You don't know what you're talking about. Alyssa Peely entered the WNBA draft last season. What are you talking about? And then it says, then it goes to NC State and says Isaiah James. So I'm like, okay, you know that. It says freshman to watch, Joyce Edwards with South Carolina. Okay. Sarah Strong with UConn. Okay. And it says Maddie Cox with Texas. No. I don't know if this is the same Maddie Cox they're talking about, but Maddie Cox plays for NC State. And it says Aaliyah Chavez, Texas Tech. What? Aaliyah Chavez? We just talked about her yesterday. She is a senior in high school who has committed to Oklahoma for next season. She's not even a freshman in college. So I was like, okay. So ChatGPT seems to know some stuff, but not other stuff. And then it says, it does say Portal Watch. It says Haley Van Lith to TCU. I was like, okay, great. And it says tons of mid-majors, move to Power 5 teams, shaking things up. Okay, whatever. All right. And so I was like, wrong. Alyssa Peely entered the draft. Aaliyah Chavez is still in high school, and Maddie Cox is at NC State. And then it says, so ChatGPT be acting like a real person. Like it's like you're absolutely right, and I appreciate you calling that out. No excuses. That was sloppy. Let's clean it up and get it right. And so it goes through it again with the corrections, and it does a relook. But this time it adds in Tessa Johnson and Chloe Kitts in there for South Carolina. It adds in it talks about Michaela Williams. Need some more of Fletcher Johnson. And then for Notre Dame, it has the usual suspects. And then other notables. It says USC still has Juju. Juju's injured. It talks about UCLA. Iowa begins the post Caitlin Clark era, but Hannah Stokey is a name to remember. Okay, well, so clearly it doesn't know about what Iowa was doing this year. Anyway, and so I was like, okay. Now here's what I really wanted to ask ChatGPT. Like all of that was a way to ask, okay, ChatGPT. The 2025 NCAA Sweet 16 is here for women's college basketball. Below are the matchups. Tell me who will win and why, and who will be the standout players. I was just curious. I want to know what they think. What does the computer think about these games? All right, and so I listed out the games. And then here is what ChatGPT had to say. They gave me 2 responses. Why? I don't know. But anyway, 2 responses. We're going to go with response 2. Response 2 says, all right, Hoops fans, let's dive into the 2025 NCAA Women's Basketball Sweet 16 matchups. I'll break down each game, predict the winner, and highlight the standout players to watch. And then for Duke versus North Carolina, it says Duke. And why does it say Duke? It says keep an eye out for their leading scorer and defensive anchor who has been pivotal in their tournament run. Okay. North Carolina says their dynamic guard will be crucial in orchestrating the offense and breaking down Duke's defense. Here's the deal. That's pretty ambiguous. What players are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Yes, absolutely. You should pay attention to Duke's leading scorer, which is isn't it Toby Fournier? Who is isn't she the leading scorer for this team? And isn't she out? Like anyway. Like you're not talking about, and yes, defense is important for Duke, but like you're not talking about any people's names, okay? And then we got NC State versus LSU, and it has NC State avenging their November loss. Okay, so NC State's gonna win that game according to ChatGPT. Okay. NC State says their leading forward, known for her versatility and scoring ability, will be key. Okay. For LSU, it says watch out for their star guard, who has been lighting up the scoreboard and facilitating plays. Like who are you talking about? Who? Like this is like it doesn't actually say anything about who these people, like who they're talking about. Anyway, TCU versus Notre Dame. It says that Notre Dame will emerge victorious. Despite losing to TCU earlier, Notre Dame's offense has been on fire in the tournament. Well, that's true. They made strategic adjustments and are playing with a chip on their shoulder. Well, I think that's true. Okay. Okay. Um, and it says their standout for Notre Dame, their standout freshman guard, standout sophomore guard, and Hannah Hidalgo, maybe, I don't know. Leading the team in scoring and steals will be a game changer. Yeah, it thinks that she's a freshman, but she's not. Anyway, TCU says they're not dominant center, and a force in the paint both offensively and defensively will be crucial. Yeah, sure. I assume they're talking about Sedona Prince. I assume. All right, Texas versus Tennessee. It has Texas winning that game. Okay. All right, says their star forward, known for her scoring and rebounding prowess, will be pivotal. Okay. Tennessee, it says their sharpshooting guard needs to have a big game to help them be competitive. Okay. All right. For South Carolina versus Maryland, it's saying that South Carolina advances. Okay. And again, it's very, very general. Like their leading scorer, their top guard. Like you kind of get the gist, right? And UCLA versus Ole Miss is saying UCLA wins. It knows that Lauren Bess is tall. Okay, it says their 6'7" center will be a matchup nightmare, but will be key in controlling the paint. Okay. Interesting. Oklahoma versus UConn. It has UConn continuing their dominance. And now here's where it says names. It finally says names here. It says Paige Beckers, the projected number 1 pick in the WNBA draft, is the heart of the team. Okay. And for USC versus K-State, it has USC winning despite adversity. It says the loss of star player Juju Watkins to an ACL injury is significant, but USC's depth and emergence of other key players give them resilience to advance. Okay, cool. So it knows about Juju's injury. And for standout players, it's now given some names. Okay, Kiki Ira-Offin stepping up in Juju's absence will be crucial. Okay, all right, and that's it. So that is ChatGPT. I just thought it'd be fun to explore that. I've seen other YouTubers kind of look at ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT has to say about like what's going on. So I just wanted to do that. I thought it was fun. Did y'all think that was interesting? Was that interesting? But yeah, ChatGPT, it don't know basketball. I mean, because it just scours sources and tries to see what it can get. So it looks like it looked at a couple of sources for the Swish Appeal, Connecticut Insider. So it looked at a couple sources for this stuff, but very general and whatnot. So like clearly, don't use ChatGPT for your bracket, or maybe you can. I mean, who knows? Maybe ChatGPT would be right. All right, somebody run with the ChatGPT stuff and see if you win. I don't know, but yeah, it has Duke winning. It has NC State winning. It has Notre Dame winning. It has Texas winning. South Carolina winning. UCLA winning. UConn winning. USC winning. So yeah, we'll ultimately see what happens. But yeah, anyway. Super Turtle says, we want to hear from you, not ChatGPT, which is why I gave my predictions a bit earlier. I just thought it'd be funny. Just to ask ChatGPT and see what it says. Yeah. Anyway. That's it. That is the stream, guys. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Ooh, I am late. So I will see y'all in the next one. Thank y'all so much. We got through the entire agenda for today, and I'm so excited about that. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got 500 people in the chat. I do want to say thank you for spending your time with me in the morning, because here's the thing. Y'all could be doing anything. Y'all could be anywhere. Y'all could be watching anybody else's channel. Y'all could be watching TV. Y'all could be doing anything possible. Reading a book, whatever. But the fact that y'all are here rocking with me means a lot. And so I really do thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for your support every single morning as we come back here every single day for more talk about women's hoops. Every single day we'll talk about a different topic. Hopefully y'all join it and y'all are interested in what we talk about. But really the goal is to do whatever we can to grow the game of women's basketball. That's the whole point. To grow in knowledge, grow in appreciation, grow in love of the game, and ultimately just support these ladies who are doing a thing day in and day out. So tell a neighbor, tell a friend. The Quita is in the mornings, every single morning, talking about what's going on. So, guys, I am in the works of getting a intro for the show and getting better looking graphics throughout the show. Like, because again, like, I think this is good, but I'm trying to continue to make this thing better. Okay, trying to make this thing a whole lot better. So hopefully y'all are gonna stick around for the next couple of weeks, because you will start to see slow but sure changes. Hopefully to make this thing a whole lot better. I like it the way it is, but like, we all can progress all the time. And so hopefully 1% better every single time. So thank y'all so much for joining. Y'all have a great day. Awesome people of the internet. I am out, and y'all have a great day. Be kind to people, be respectful. And just know that you are not the only person who's on this world. Everybody is on this world with you. And it's important for you to treat people with respect, because you want to be treated with respect, right? I'm just saying. Y'all have a good day. And I love y'all. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.